So welcome to part 2 of our drawing a staircase with newel posts. Straight flight with a couple of newels on each side, so 4 newels in total. I've done a little bit of housework since you last looked at it, so I've tidied this up, put all the spindles in, put the nosings in, and just made it all look a little bit cleaner. I've added a couple more levels in here that we're going to need, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to copy these grid lines over, because once we start working on this it can get a little bit involved. It's nice to work to one side, so I'm going to copy that across to one side. Now we can work on the different pieces as we want to. First things first, we're going to get our overall tread width, which we're going to draw it out at 1 metre. So we'll make certain we're on plans there. We'll draw this in at 1 metre. We'll move that so it's sitting central on our grid, and we'll draw the width down there so we know we're working within our width that we want. Now what we're going to do to start with is just draw one of the treads in. So we are going to go for an oblong. We're going to go from that point there to that point there, and we're going to come out sideways. Oh, if that grabs that mark, we're going to bring this out here. So let's just move this across onto our centre line. Well, if we move that across and tab, that keeps it nice and straight again. Should keep it in line. So this is the right going. We just need to determine the width. We know we're going to go 1 metre overall, but we need to come in for our nosing, our return nosing, which is one down the side. We know this is going to be 28 millimeters because we're using standard setting out. So the projection outside is the same as the thickness of the tread. So we can offset these by our overall width by 28 millimeters. I already have that typed in there as 28. So do that side, this side. We can now scale this to come out to the width we want. So we go from the center outwards. It will expand both sides to do that. We can now offset this. Oh, if I can learn to type. Offset, and we're going to go 28 again, which gives us our overall nosing. We can lose the back of the tread because we know that's not going to be used, and then we can put in our miters for our little return nosings, and then that's our return or side returns, and we'll do the same again on the other side. There we have it. Now we hide these. We almost have all the treads there, but let's just do hide on that, and you can see we just need to do that little return back down where the stringing line goes. So that's the basic tread laid out. Now what we want to do is drop the spindles onto this tread, so we can copy all that up. To get the spindle size, we're going to put a line across the narrowest point, which is up there. Draw a circle onto that. Make something we're back on the spindle level. Drop that onto the spindles. Make certain we're working on the spindle layer. That's the top to show the thinnest part. And we're going to come down here, select a rectangle, click one side of there to the other side, and just hit return to use the same dimension to give us a square. We can now move that from the centre there down into the centre of there. If it picks it up, it doesn't seem to like it, so let's have another go. We'll move that from there to centre. There we go. We will group that. We will now flip it over on its side. So let's rotate that. Move on to its side so we can see it on plan view. We will now move that onto our tread, lining the left hand side up with where the nosing goes in, and that will be where the stringer sits, and then the front off with where the riser line comes up again. Then we're going to copy that from that point to halfway through, and we can dimension that just to make certain that we're working within legal bounds, and we are 97.5, 98 mil. So we know that's all legal. Copy those over. We can either do copy like that and just pick up from that side and move it across to there, or we could have done mirror and mirrored it across. So let's group all that lot, and now we can see we want, that's the top landing obviously, but we want 1, 2, 3, 4 treads. We're going to do 5 because the top landing, we're going to use a nosing. We're going to use a tread to work out the nosing. So let's copy that. We're going to copy it from that point there to that point there to that point there. I'll put a couple more at the top. So we're going to go from one there to one there. And now we can group those across, group those all together. And move these back across from here back onto, just tap that back onto this grid. If we drop that down to the floor level, boom, boom, boom. Oh, I didn't have projector on, so therefore it's moved across to the other grid. So we'll just do that, and now we'll bring it down, it'll stay in the right place. So there you can see we have our treads drops out. But what we can do, because we are working in 3D, and this will help when they do the front view, if we ungroup those, we can move them all up. So we can move that one up till it hits the height, and control and select to move that one, and then move that one up, control and select to select that one, and do that all the way up. Oh, I deselected the wrong one there. So move that one from there up to there. So now you can see we have them all at the level. We're working in 3D, and you can see now we're starting to build the front elevation at the same time. Next, we can draw our handrail centre line in. I've got the habit of using green for this, so we're going to put a line down there, right through the centre of that spindle, because obviously that goes up through the centre of the handrail. So we're going to do that. And again, we can either, let's do mirror. If we do mirror, we can just mirror that over to the other side. So we have our handrail centre line that side as well. Now we can position the newel post on here. So again, we'll go back, we'll do the same again. Pick the narrowest point on the newel post. Go and make that one with the right level. Stick onto newels. So that's the narrowest point. No one's ever going to get into there. So I'm actually going to use this point here as our narrowest point. And we're going to drop a circle on there again. And we're going to do the square for the base again. And then pop that from there back into the center of the base. Oh. And group those two together. Flip them over so we can see them on plan view. And then we can now move this from its center onto the center here. We have our positions already marked out from the elevations here. So we can draw a line out. We'll take project off for a minute so we can select it at the right place. We can see we can draw a line from there, bring it out to the side here, and we can now bring that post from its thinnest point down to there. We can get rid of that newel, so we can ungroup this selection and get rid of that one and that one, and we'll group that lot back together again. So let's now go and delete those out, and we can mirror that one over from our center line again across to the other side. And now we can copy those two down to the front, the first two. Oh, I only want one of them at each side. And now we can position those the same as we did with this one. Let's get rid of that line now we've used it. We'll do another line coming out from where we want this newel post, straight out to the side here. And that is actually, we've chosen where we want the base of that post to come out. So we'll move that from there to there. And we should have done the same with the other side, so we'll do that one again from that point all up to that point. We haven't come out, I'll come out sideways, so I need to bring that up to there, select that point, a tab to keep it in line. Move this one up as well. Just make certain that is in the right place because I didn't draw that out the other side, so let's just slide that across. Yep, that's it. And now again we can ungroup these and press Control to lose and select these two, regroup, and then go through and delete these two. And there we have our basic plans. Showing all the treads, the spindles, and we can trim this down if we wanted to because obviously we're not going to use this right across. So what we want to do, that little nosing, obviously we know make the newel post slightly bigger so that nosing doesn't come round, or we just trap the edge of that nosing. And then we can trim all this off from about halfway through the post. Oh. And we can get rid of all that bit out the back. and that gives us our new back of our tread there. And then we can get rid of these 2 bits because they're not going to be needed, so we just ungroup, deselect those, press group again, and then we can just delete those out. And there we have our plans. If we wanted to draw the stringers in as well, we know that our stringers are going to be 35mm wide, so let's do those at sort of 35mm wide. We're going to come down here to here, and we'll go 35 on there. Oh, never certain how that works, so let's just move that one down there, and we'll just scale that 1D. We'll pick that up from there, run it through there, and now we can move this across so it just sits on that line where that all finishes, and that shows us where our stringer goes. And you can see the stringer's not central on the post because we need to get this across underneath where that nosing is, being on a cut string. If it's a closed string, the handrail would sit central on the post, and the stringer would sit central on the post, and all the spindles as well. But again, because it's cut string, the stringer sits off to one side, or it does in this situation, and we can now mirror that across again. You could put the handrail lines on here if you want to, but it gets a bit involved. We can turn the handrail center lines off, so we can hide that line now, we don't need it. And we can change this so it's hidden detail. I've done that on the newel lines, so let's move that across and put a line in here for stringers. A new layer there. Wax stringers. We'll change the line type on that to hidden. I'll bring this onto this screen, so that's hidden detail, and we'll make certain that those two are on the correct layer, onto our stringers layer, and now you can see they're showing up as hidden detail. And we can go in and change that line type to show it a bit better. Again, so we go into options. Where have I hidden the options? There they are. Line types, hidden, and line type scale. Let's just change that. We'll go to 10, see how that looks. There we go. Now you can see it showing up as a hidden detail. So that's our plan. And with those all drawn, the final part is drawing the elevation, the front view, sorry. So we'll be looking at that next.